Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talk Olivia. I'm so happy you're here with us today. Whether you're joining us for the very first time or you've been with us for a while, we are so glad you clicked on this video.
Hey, welcome. And honestly, if you clicked on this video today, I think there's a reason for that. Something brought you here. And I think by the end of this episode, you're going to feel really good about that decision.
You know, before we started recording today, I was actually thinking about when I first started learning English. I remember feeling so behind, like everyone else already knew so much, and I was just standing there confused and embarrassed.
I know exactly what you mean. I had the same feeling. I'd look at other learners and think, how do they already know all of this? What's wrong with me? But spoiler alert, nothing was wrong with me, and nothing is wrong with you.
And that's exactly what today's episode is about. We're talking about the mindset of a language learner, how to stop feeling behind and start feeling empowered. Because the truth is, if you're learning, you're already moving forward.
By the end of today's video, you're going to feel more confident about where you are in your English journey. You're going to have real strategies to keep going, even on hard days. And you're going to see your progress in a completely new way.
So, here's a question for you, and we want you to answer this in the comments. When did you start learning English? Was it as a child, as a teenager, or maybe as an adult? Tell us. We read every comment.
And while you're down there, make sure you hit that subscribe button on Talk Olivia. We put out new episodes every week to help you grow your English step by step. Don't miss a single one.
Okay, are you ready? Let's get into it. Because today, we're not just talking about English, we're talking about you.
And you, my friend, are exactly where you need to be. Let's go.
Main teaching section 1, the comparison trap.
All right, let's start with something really important. Something that holds so many English learners back without them even realizing it. It's called the comparison trap.
Oh yes, the comparison trap. It sounds simple, but it is so powerful, and not in a good way.
Here's what the comparison trap looks like. You're in class, or you're watching a video, or maybe you're in a conversation, and you suddenly think, that person speaks so much better than me. I'll never be that good.
Or maybe you're scrolling online and you see someone who learned English in 6 months, and you think, wait, why is it taking me so long? What am I doing wrong?
And the moment you think that, boom, the comparison trap has you. Because suddenly you're not thinking about learning anymore, you're just thinking about how far behind you feel.
Here's the thing though. When you compare yourself to someone else, you're comparing your chapter 1 to their chapter 10. You don't know how long they studied, you don't know how many mistakes they made, you don't know what their journey really looked like.
Exactly. You're seeing the finished product, or at least a much later chapter. You're not seeing the days when they couldn't form a single sentence. You're not seeing the embarrassing moments, the confusing grammar rules, the vocabulary they forgot 100 times.
So let me give you a real example. Imagine two learners. Let's call them Learner A and Learner B. Learner A started English 5 years ago. Learner B started 6 months ago. If Learner B compares themselves to Learner A, of course they feel behind. But is that a fair comparison?
Not at all. Those are completely different journeys. Different starting points, different life situations, different amounts of practice time. Comparing them is like comparing a person who just started running to someone who has been training for a marathon.
Right, and both of them are doing the same thing. They're running, just at different stages.
So here's your first challenge. In the comments below, tell us one thing you can do today instead of comparing yourself to others. Maybe it's studying for 10 minutes. Maybe it's practicing one new word. What's one small step you can take? Write it down.
Because the moment you stop looking sideways at other people's progress and start looking forward at your own, everything changes. And that shift, that small mental shift, is more powerful than any grammar rule we could ever teach you.
The comparison trap tells you that you're behind. But here's the truth. There is no behind in language learning. There's only where you are right now and where you're going next.
And where you are right now, that's a perfectly valid place to start, or to continue, or to restart. All of it counts, every single bit of it. Okay, so now that we've talked about the comparison trap, let's talk about something else that trips up so many learners. The idea that if you can't see your progress, then you're not making any.
Oh, this one is so relatable because progress in language learning is sneaky. It doesn't always show up the way you expect it to.
Let me explain what I mean. When you're learning English, some days feel amazing. You understood a movie, you had a full conversation, you remembered a word you learned 3 weeks ago. Those are the visible progress days.
But then there are the other days, the days when nothing clicks, when you read something and don't understand half of it, when you try to speak and the words just won't come. Those days feel like you're going backwards.
But here's what's actually happening on those hard days. Your brain is still working. It's still sorting, organizing, connecting new information to old information. Just because you can't feel it doesn't mean it isn't happening.
Think about it like planting a seed. When you plant a seed, you don't see anything for days, sometimes weeks. You're watering it, you're giving it sunlight, but the ground looks empty. Does that mean the seed isn't growing?
Of course not. It's growing underground. The roots are forming, the foundation is being built. And one day, suddenly, there's a little green shoot coming up through the soil. And it happened because of all those days when you couldn't see anything.
Language learning is exactly like that. All those hours of listening, reading, practicing, even when it feels like nothing is working, you are building roots. And one day it will click and it will feel sudden, but it won't be sudden at all. It'll be all that invisible work finally showing up.
I remember the moment my English suddenly felt more natural. It happened in the middle of a conversation. I wasn't thinking about grammar, I wasn't translating in my head, I was just talking. And I thought, wait, when did this happen?
Yes, I had the exact same experience. And looking back, I realized it happened because of all the times I practiced when I didn't feel like it. All the times I kept going when I thought I wasn't improving.
So here's your second challenge. Think about your English journey for a moment. Think about where you were 6 months ago or 1 year ago. Can you understand more now? Can you speak more comfortably? Even a little bit? Write in the comments one thing you can do now that you couldn't do before. We want to celebrate your progress with you.
Because progress is real, even when it's invisible. And the learners who understand this, the ones who keep going through the hard days, those are the ones who become truly fluent. First, trust the process. Second, keep showing up. Third, celebrate the small wins. Those 3 things will take you further than any shortcut ever could.
And don't ever let a hard day convince you that you're not growing. Hard days are part of it. They're not the exception. They're included in the price of learning something real.
So the next time you have a hard day with English, I want you to say to yourself, my roots are growing. My foundation is getting stronger. I can't see it yet, but it's happening, and it will show up. Main Teaching Section 3. Starting over is not failing.
Now we want to talk about something that feels really difficult for a lot of learners. Starting over, or restarting, going back to basics after a long break.
Because so many people feel ashamed about this. They stopped studying for a few months, maybe even a year or 2 years, and now they want to come back, but they feel embarrassed, like they wasted time, like they have to apologize for their gap.
Let me say this clearly and directly. Taking a break is not failure. Life happens. Jobs, family, health, stress, these are real things. And sometimes English has to wait. That is completely okay.
And here's something really interesting. When you come back after a break, it actually takes less time to get back to where you were because your brain doesn't forget as much as you think it does. A lot of what you learned is still in there, waiting to be activated.
It's like riding a bicycle. Maybe you haven't ridden in 5 years. The first time you get back on, you might wobble a little, but within minutes, your body remembers. The skill is still there. It just needs a little warm-up.
Language is similar. You might feel rusty, but rusty is not the same as starting from zero. You're not going back to the beginning, you're going back to where you left off with a little dust to brush off.
And honestly, sometimes a break gives you a fresh perspective. You come back with new motivation, new life experiences that give you new things to talk about in English, new reasons for learning that maybe you didn't have before.
So if you're someone who's watching this after a long break, welcome back. Seriously, we're so glad you're here. It takes courage to restart. And the fact that you pressed play today, that means you're ready.
Here's a tip for restarting. Don't try to catch up all at once. Don't say, okay, I missed 2 years, so now I need to study 10 hours a day. That's a fast road to burning out again. Instead, start small, 20 minutes a day, one podcast episode, one Talk Olivia video, and build from there.
First, start small and be consistent. Second, review what you already know before adding new things. Third, don't punish yourself for the time away. And fourth, come back to it with kindness. Treat yourself the way you'd treat a friend who is restarting something, with patience, with encouragement, with understanding.
Let's do a quick practice together. I want you to say this sentence out loud. Say it with me. I am not behind. I am exactly where I need to be, and I am starting right now.
Did you say it? Say it again if you need to, because those words are not just nice words. They're a mindset shift. And the more you say them, the more your brain starts to believe them. Write in the comments, I'm starting now, if you said it. We want to see it.
Okay, let's talk about some common thinking mistakes that English learners make. And when I say mistakes, I mean things that I made too, so there's no judgment here at all.
Oh, me too. Absolutely me too. These are so common, and I think when you hear them out loud, you might recognize yourself in one or two of them.
Mistake number 1, waiting until you're ready to speak. So many learners say, I'll start speaking when my English is better. I'll start having conversations when I know more vocabulary. I'll start when I feel confident.
But here's the problem with that. Confidence doesn't come before speaking. It comes from speaking. You have to speak to get confident. Waiting until you feel ready means you might wait forever.
The correct approach? Start speaking now, at whatever level you're at. Make mistakes. It's fine. Every mistake is information. Every awkward moment is practice. Nobody became fluent by waiting to feel ready.
Mistake number 2, measuring fluency by accent. A lot of learners think, if I have an accent, my English is not good. Or if I don't sound like a native speaker, I'm failing. But that is simply not true.
Having an accent means you speak more than one language. That's amazing. Accents are not mistakes. Communication is the goal, not imitation. If someone understands you, you have succeeded. Don't let accent anxiety hold you back.
Mistake number 3, studying grammar non-stop without practicing conversation. Now, grammar is important. We love grammar. But grammar alone will not make you fluent. You can know every rule in every textbook and still freeze up when someone says, hey, how's it going?
Why? Because fluency is a skill, like driving or cooking. You can read every recipe in the world, but until you actually cook, you can't call yourself a cook. You have to use English, not just study it.
And mistake number 4, giving up after one bad experience. Maybe you tried to speak English once and someone didn't understand you, or you said something wrong and felt embarrassed, and you thought, I'm just not good at this.
One bad experience is data, not a conclusion. Every expert in the world has had 100 bad experiences, 1,000. The difference between people who learn and people who don't isn't talent, it's whether they got up after the bad experience and tried again.
So if any of these mistakes sound familiar, that's okay. We've all been there. What matters is what you do next. And what you're doing right now, watching, learning, engaging, that is the right move. Keep going.
Interactive practice. All right, let's do some practice. This is one of my favorite parts. I'm going to give you 2 sentences, and you choose which one sounds better or more correct. Ready? Say your answer out loud.
And if you want, write your answers in the comments too. We'll be checking.
Situation 1. You've been studying English for 3 months, and your friend says, wow, you already know so much. Do you say A, no, I'm so behind still, or B, thank you, I've been working hard and I'm really enjoying it?
Option B, right? Because option A dismisses your own progress. Option B accepts the compliment and acknowledges your effort. Always give yourself credit for the work you're doing.
Situation 2. You make a grammar mistake in a conversation. Do you A, stop, apologize multiple times, and feel embarrassed for the rest of the conversation? Or B, correct yourself quickly if you catch it, or just keep going if you don't, and stay present in the conversation?
Option B every time, because most of the time the other person barely noticed, and staying confident and engaged is far more important than perfect grammar.
Situation 3. You missed studying for 2 weeks. Do you A, Feel so guilty that you avoid going back because it feels like too much? Or B, open your notebook, do 15 minutes of review, and just continue from where you left off?
Option B, obviously. And I love this one because it sounds so simple, but it really is this simple. Just open the notebook, just press play, just start. The guilt is not useful. The action is.
And here's your challenge. Create your own situation. Write a comment describing a moment when you felt behind or discouraged in your English journey, and then write how you want to respond to it differently now. We genuinely love reading these.
Remember, we're not looking for perfect English in those comments. We're looking for your honest, real thoughts. Your voice matters, exactly as it is right now.
Conclusion and wrap up. Okay, we have reached the end of today's episode, and I just have to say I am so proud of every single person who watched all the way to this point. That right there, that's what commitment looks like.
Let's do a quick recap of everything we covered today. First, we talked about the comparison trap and why comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10 is one of the most damaging things you can do to your own progress.
Second, we talked about invisible progress, how your brain is always working, even on the days when you feel like nothing is happening. Your roots are growing, even when you can't see them.
And third, we talked about restarting, how taking a break is not failure, and coming back is one of the bravest things a learner can do. You are not starting from zero. You're starting from experience.
And I want to leave you with this. There is no race in language learning. There is no finish line that closes. There is no moment where you miss the cutoff and you're out. The door is always open. You can always come in. You can always begin.
So here's a question to think about and share in the comments. What does starting over or starting fresh mean to you? Not in English terms, in life terms. We want to know your thoughts.
And if today's episode helped you in any way, if it gave you even one moment of feeling a little better about your journey, please give it a like. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to Talk Olivia so you never miss a new episode. We are here every week just for you.
You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not too old, not too slow, not too far back. You are a learner. And being a learner is one of the most courageous things a person can be. We are cheering for you, loudly, every single day.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us. It honestly means everything. Now, go practice. Go speak. Go write that comment. And remember, every single step forward counts.
We'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself, keep going, and we'll be right here when you come back. See you next time.